Well, the prosecutor promised that they would get this trial over in a hurry, that there would be swift justice. And yesterday, day 2 of the trial, we indeed did get swift justice. More on that in just a moment. Hi, Tony DeWitt here. I'm a Missouri appellate attorney, retired, and I bring you a fresh perspective on the law without offering any legal advice. So pull up a chair. This is what we're discussing today. Yesterday was an interesting day in that the defense got to put on its case, such as it was. I'm sure that there was a strategy behind this case. No lawyer just throws up witnesses willy-nilly hoping to land a blow somewhere. There usually is some kind of thoughtful, well-executed strategy about how you bring in the witnesses and what they say, what you ask them, how they respond, all of that. You've rehearsed this, everything's ready to go. It did not really appear that way watching yesterday, that he had any real game plan. It didn't seem to me. He started off questioning the sheriff's deputy about the downloads. I didn't think that went anywhere. And then he put on the golden boy. Yep, he put on Keith Agee, the person who shot Brooklyn Sims. Keith's only purpose was to exculpate his mom. And so you have to understand that blood being thicker than water, he's going to say whatever he thinks he needs to say to get his mom out of hot water, especially in view of the fact that he didn't delete those texts. At any rate, he put him on and he asks the questions that you would expect. Really, the only one that I thought the jury would be interested in was this one.
Did you ever think for 1 minute that your mother wanted you to hurt Brooklyn?
No, sir. Not in a million years.
Is there anything your mother could have done to convince you not to do what you wanted to do when it comes down to, well, just that?
No, sir. I have my own mind, and once I have something set on my mind, I'm kind of stuck to it. So the way that day played out was the only way that day could have played out. She could have not stopped me. No physical words, form, any type of way she could have prevented this.
After that, it was time for cross-examination.
Absolutely. Cross-exam, sir.
Mr. Agee, we've met several times, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You were convicted of first-degree murder, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you're a convicted felon now.
Yes, sir.
I prosecuted you as well as Miss Jensen, correct?
Yes, sir.
That day of the homicide, when you came to Pensacola to kill Brooklyn, you didn't know where she was until your mother told you, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's all I have.
While I think most lawyers would tell you that there is no perfect cross-examination, that was as close to perfect as you'll ever see. He got in, he got what he needed, and basically confirmed that, yeah, until Mama told me where to come, I didn't know where to come. That's exactly what he needed to do. He landed 2 blows and really never had to lift a finger. Well, if you liked Baby Boy, then you're going to love Mama, because Mama got up to testify in her own behalf. And I have to tell you, I have rarely seen testimony this bizarre in a courtroom. Normally, you want to try to make your client look like they have some kind of normal life, not like they live in a tar paper shack in Tuscumbia, Alabama. That is unfortunately the image that was conveyed in much of her testimony, particularly when she's reading these texts.
And he's like, I'm on the way, send it. And I was like, hold up, let me get it, erase the text, because I don't want nobody to know I was texting your stupid.
Meaning?
Meaning this looks stupid. Me and you both look stupid right now.
You go.
He said, I already deleted mine. Trust me, I ain't going to say shit about us even talking today. And I said, don't act like you love Casey, because you don't give a fuck about that little girl. You love you and you alone. Trying to let him know that you're doing this is stupid. I mean, you're not thinking.
I'm not going to put these texts on the video and the audio of those texts on here for one reason, and that's because they are filled with profanity. Some of the most obnoxious profanity, and I just don't think anybody really needs to hear that. They don't have to have their mind polluted with that kind of information. So instead, I'll skip to the cross-examination.
Ms. Agee, you just said that you didn't think he would show, but if
No.
he did, you were there to beat his ass.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that boy did show up and you didn't beat his ass, did you?
No, ma'am, I didn't see him.
Tell this jury when you warned Brooklyn that she might be in harm's way.
When we were going to lunch, I passed her the phone. And I let her read the text.
What text?
The text that me and Keith had sent back and forth.
You and Keith have matching tattoos, don't you?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
And Keith in your phone is listed as my baby.
Yeah, I just said that, yes.
Right. And you said in the text messages that the jurors heard this morning that Keith will always be your baby, correct?
Yes, he's my child, yes.
And you also said in those text messages that you like Brooklyn, but you love Keith.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
She said she likes Brooklyn,
Mhm.
but she loves Keith.
Yes, I told Keith that he's mad.
My question
This
was,
yes or no,
Yes,
ma'am?
yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, yes,
It's a yes or no
Yes,
question?
yes, yes.
Mr. Ackerman, please do not interrupt.
yes.
and in those text messages, you said you would do anything for Keith because he is your child, correct?
I said anything that I could,
Anything that you could,
right.
like send an address, right?
No, not like that.
So Mr. Ackerman was talking to you about your different tactics depending on Keith's mood,
Yes, ma'am.
right? You said sometimes you have to agree with him, sometimes you have to disagree with him, whatever works to calm him down,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So what was your tactic that you were using when you sent him the address to Home Depot?
Okay, my tactic then, as a mother, I figured if I could, at the following text, I said, you would thank me when you're chilling with your daughter one day. I figured if I could get to him and I could touch him, I could stop him. That's what my tactic was, ma'am.
So your tactic was to bring him from Alabama to Pensacola so that you could touch him first?
My tactic was to bring him to me, yes, ma'am.
How did that work?
It did it, ma'am.
What part of him saying that he was going to, or excuse me, let me back up. You mentioned during your testimony with Mr. Ackerman that you didn't take a lot of what Keith said seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
So what part of him saying that he was going to kill Brooklyn was not serious?
To me, all of it, because he has said this before. And he said it on the 11th. But if you would go back to the text that me and Keith had months and years and other times, I understand your job. Your job is to pick out what I done wrong. But you haven't picked out the last 3 years. It's like your job is a
Ma'am.
witch hunt.
Ma'am,
That wasn't
just
my
answer the
question.
question.
My job is to bring out the truth.
And that's what I'm giving you.
So what part of him saying that he was going to shoot Brooklyn?
I didn't believe any of it.
Ma'am, let
Oh, sorry.
What part of that did you not think was serious?
I didn't believe any of it.
What part of him asking where you guys were so that he could come kill Brooklyn was not serious?
I didn't think he was coming, ma'am.
What part of him counting down his travel from Alabama to Pensacola did you not think was serious?
I didn't think he was coming, ma'am.
Now you keep talking about these other text messages. You deleted your text messages, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I said that.
You also mentioned that Brooklyn was the best mama and was such a good girl.
She was.
And you sent your son to her location where he killed her.
No, ma'am. I sent my son to me. I told him you can come shoot me.
But he came to the location you sent and he killed her.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Agee,
Yes, ma'am.
your son had no idea where you and Brooklyn were that day, did he?
No, ma'am.
Your family testified how you and Brooklyn were so close, you were like mother and daughter, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you mentioned that your son was seeing a couple other people, but you had no idea if Brooklyn was seeing anyone
I
else.
said I didn't think Brooklyn was seeing anybody else. Yes, ma'am.
But you're so close, like mother and daughter, and you don't know that.
Well, I mean, I had never heard Brooklyn say she was dating or sleeping around with anybody else. No, ma'am. I did not.
You said at some point you started changing your tactic because Brooklyn means nothing to him, so you started using Casey, correct? To try to calm him down.
No, I didn't say Brooklyn means nothing to him. I said I was using Casey because he was mad at Brooklyn. I was using Casey to try to calm him down.
Okay, so you're trying to calm him down.
Yes, ma'am.
So then you tell him he's stupid, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you tell him he's a dummy,
Yes, ma'am.
and you call him a bitch,
Yes, ma'am.
and you tell him he's got mental issues.
Yes, ma'am.
How does that tactic work?
It has worked in the.
I'm not done.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am.
How does that tactic work to calm him down?
It has worked in the past, ma'am.
By calling him names?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think this is the key question here.
But then you continue to warn him about going to jail and giving him some consequences.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your tactic there if he's already de-escalated?
To reinforcing that you're going to jail, ma'am.
You never said, don't do it, right?
I told him he tried to shoot me.
You'll notice that she never answers it. I'm going to stop the cross right there because what you're seeing here, and she's doing it very masterfully, by the way, the prosecuting attorney. She's getting her to expand the lie bigger and bigger and bigger and make less and less and less sense. You're trying to calm somebody down by calling them stupid and a dummy. I mean, I've seen a lot of fistfights start over a lot less than that. So the idea that this might calm somebody down is absolute nonsense. She has to live with the texts that she sent. Now, maybe, I'm not in her head, maybe she did indeed have the intent to calm him down. But the one thing she should never have done is send him the address. And that's what I think is the most important thing that the prosecutor got in this case. An admission from Keith that he didn't know where she was, and an admission from her that Keith didn't know where she was. She obviously gave him key information that facilitated his commission of the crime. Now, whether it was her intent to facilitate or something else, I guess the jury has to resolve that. But I think the bolder the lie goes and the bigger it gets, the less believable that it is. And I think that's what you're seeing in that section of cross-examination there. There were other witnesses, most of them testifying favorably on behalf of Mrs. Agee, telling that, she could just never keep control of poor Keith. He was just a mental case from the get-go, at least if you believe and listen to the testimony, and that may very well be true. But the texts, for whatever else their value was, did show that he listened to his mom. And so if she had simply said, don't kill her, I suspect he would have done that. Or I guess I should say he would have refrained from doing that. Then came the closing arguments. I thought the prosecution was very good when it opened its closing argument.
Ladies and gentlemen, this defendant, Sheila Agee, did not physically pull the trigger on the gun that killed Brooklyn Sims. But this defendant's words were her weapon. Sharper than a knife, faster than a bullet. Her words, if you don't come kill her, you a MF bitch. That is what this mother, this defendant, said to her son. Her words were her weapon that assisted and aided and encouraged and incited her son to murder the mother of his child. and her actions were her weapon. She changed the whole path of this crime. She changed the whole direction of her homicidal son's mission to kill Brooklyn Sims. He was initially talking about killing her in Alabama, which is not okay. He wanted to shoot Brooklyn when they got back from Pensacola and got to Alabama and Citronelle. And what did this defendant do? She brought him to Pensacola and said, do it there instead.
Then came this rambling, incoherent, jumbled up mess that was supposed to be a closing argument on behalf of Sheila Agee. The thing that troubles me most about this is that there's a pretty good claim here, I think, for ineffective assistance of counsel. I don't know whether this guy just is not up to this, up to the task, or whether there's something going on. But at any rate, I would have been embarrassed if I had made a performance of this nature. Take a listen.
There is no doubt here what he did, as we've all said, horrific, horrendous. He caused such harm to so many people. You'll note, it's interesting to me when Sheila was testifying, she was talking about the harm he did to the Sims family and everything else. And again, no one's making a hero out of Sheila. She did what she did, she said what she said, and we'll get that in a minute. But if you come into this case believing she's innocent, which was such a big thing we talked about in jury selection, if you came in totally clean and you left your minds open and you weren't going to be impressed enough by the first thing you heard that you were going to judge everything by it, then there's also other people that were hurt too. She was hurt tremendously. She lost her son. She lost her new daughter. She lost her grandchild. She lost her piece of life. She's going about her business. She's got a great job. She's working. She's doing her best to get through life. She's got a son that is, you saw him, you heard about him, and you've seen the text. But she's living a life, and this catastrophe happens. Okay?
I'm just going to say I don't think casting her as the victim here is going to have a great deal of sway with the jury. But let's see what the prosecutor has to say about that.
State's ready for your rebuttal close. You may proceed, Ms. Jensen.
Don't worry, I don't get to start all over again. This is what's called rebuttal. It's just an opportunity for the state to rebut some of the things that the defense said. Mr. Ackerman said that Sheila Agee lost her son, her granddaughter, and the mother of her granddaughter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get one thing straight. Sheila Agee is not the victim in this case. Brooklyn Sims is. Mr. Ackerman brought up these text messages again when Lionel Martinez testified that he didn't go back a month and look at these text messages. A lot of that information is about this STD. The state does not have to prove anyone had an STD. You're not going to see that anywhere in your jury instructions. Those text messages also show you the dysfunctional relationship between Brooklyn and Keith and Sheila, but you also have those in the text messages that the state submitted yesterday. Mr. Ackerman was talking to you about the law, and the state is going to ask you to please listen to the judge when she instructs you, especially on the law of principles. You're going to have a copy that you will take back with you, and you will apply the facts of this case to the law. Because to be a principal, the defendant does not even have to be present when the crime is committed, and she was. For first-degree premeditated murder, the state must prove that Sheila Agee intended the killing of Brooklyn Sims to occur. And the state submits the evidence shows that.
After jury instructions, the case was sent to the jury. And then they came back with this.
In the Circuit Court for Escambia County, Florida, State of Florida Plaintiff versus Sheila Annette AG Defendant, Clerk number 1723 CF 003379B, Division A, verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to the count charged in the indictment. Count 1, guilty of principal to first-degree murder as charged. So say we all, this 6th day of August, 2025, Juror Carpenter, foreperson.
Well, now the court has to decide on a sentence, so there's victim impact statement from Brooklyn Sims' mom. I'll spare you that, because really, being charged with and convicted of first-degree murder without any request for death penalty hearings, in that situation, there's really only one sentence that can be imposed in Florida, which is life without parole.
Your Honor,
Anybody else that wanted to be heard?
I don't believe so, no. Based on the jury's verdict, though, there's only one lawful sentence, Your Honor, and that's adjudication of guilt, life in state prison without the possibility of parole. I believe the court costs are $518, and that's all the state has, Your Honor.
I believe her credit was 722 days.
Judge, may I applied for that.
Yes, sir. Just 1 second.
Your Honor, I would like to say that Ms. Sims is 100% correct. I failed as a mother. I failed as a friend. And I failed as a grandmother. And it was something Brooklyn didn't deserve. There's no way I can express my sorrow to you. And I'm sorry, I don't ask for forgiveness. I don't ask for forgiveness. And I don't ask for forgiveness when you need to forgive. But I want to let you know you are a great mother. You are a great mother. You are a great grandmother. And you were a great friend. And I let you down. And I apologize from the bottom of my heart for letting you down. And I hope you strive. And I hope Casey strives. And TT, I hope you and Ada strive. And I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. And thank you, Ms. Smith, and thank you, Mr. Trey. And thank you, Mr. David. And I am so sorry for my family. I love y'all. And Your Honor, I apologize to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Agee. Mr. Ackerman, anything else from you, sir?
I'm sorry.
I said, was there anything else from you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, fine.
Based on the jury's verdict finding you guilty as charged of principal to first-degree murder, I will adjudicate you guilty of that charge, sentence you to life in the Florida Department of Corrections without the possibility of parole. I believe she has credit for 722 days. Any objection to that amount of credit? And she'll be given that credit. I'll impose $518 in court cost. Madam Clerk, there's no other required cost, correct? And this is the judgment and sentence of the court. You have 30 days to appeal. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you.
It's a sad case. 3 lives were ruined. And the one person that could have stopped it didn't do it. And I think that's what the jury saw. I think the jury saw a mom who hated the girl that was likely to become her daughter-in-law. And by the way, I've been referring to her as the wife. She was not. People corrected me on that. Those of you who did that, thank you. I appreciate that. I had mistakenly assumed that she was wife. But at the bottom line is she just didn't like this girl, even though she picked her up and took her to work every day. I think there was kind of a seething hatred there. It didn't really come through, but I think what the jury saw when she testified about Brooklyn was her baby girl, I think they realized that that was a piece of narrative fiction created most recently after the shooting, and that was so poorly thought out that Stephen King wouldn't write it. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks for being here. That's what I have for you today. I hope you found it helpful, interesting, or maybe both. If there's a subject you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to send me an email at the address above. If you like what we do, please feel free to subscribe and come on back to the beach tomorrow. I release videos every weekday, weather and work permitting. If you have the opportunity today, do a kindness for your fellow man. It makes the world a better place, one kind act at a time. And now, YouTube has some suggestions for other videos of mine that you might like.